It was raining the night Daniel died. We'd fought that evening, stupid sibling stuff. He wanted to borrow my car, I said no. The last words I said to him were, "You never listen, Daniel." An hour later, the police knocked on our door. Car crash. Instant. No one else hurt. But I never forgave myself. After the funeral, the house felt wrong. Too quiet. Too heavy. I couldn't sleep in my room because the air felt thick, like someone was still there. Sound cue, soft rain hitting the window, faint thunder in the distance. I kept seeing shapes in the corners, small, harmless, I told myself. Until one night. I saw it clearly. A shadow. Standing against the wall. It looked exactly like Daniel. And that was the night I realized his body was gone, but something of him had stayed behind. The next night, I tried to be rational. Shadows can play tricks, right? So I turned on every light, stood in front of the mirror, and waved my arm. My shadow followed me. The other one didn't. It stood still. It didn't mimic me. It didn't move. It just watched. When I stepped closer, the air grew colder. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. And when I whispered his name, Daniel, the shadow flickered. For a split second, it smiled. Sound cue, low electrical hum, distant whisper. The next morning, I told myself I imagined it. But when I checked the wall again, there were fingerprints in the dust. Like someone had pressed their hand there and stayed. I tried ignoring it. But the more I looked away, the darker it got. It wasn't just a patch of darkness anymore, it had weight. Every night, it grew sharper. More defined. Like the darkness itself was remembering him. One evening, I stood up and faced it head-on. I shouted, "You're not real." The lights flickered. My phone vibrated, a message from an unknown number, "I'm home." I dropped the phone, my blood turning to ice. It was his voice in the voicemail that followed. Daniel. Laughing. The same laugh I hadn't heard since he died. Sound cue, distorted laughter echoing faintly in the background. When I looked up, the shadow was gone. But the next morning, it was back. This time, closer to my bed. That night, I turned off my phone, sat in the dark, and waited. It didn't take long. The room grew cold. The smell of damp earth filled the air. And then, a whisper. Soft. Gentle. "You promised you'd never leave me." Those were the last words I told him before the accident. Now, he was saying them back. I fell to my knees, begging, "Daniel, please. I'm sorry." The shadow moved. Arms stretched out from the wall, reaching toward me. For a moment, I saw his face inside it, pale, sad, and smiling. Then the lights went out completely. When they came back, my reflection in the mirror was smiling, but I wasn't. Sound cue, static distortion, low whispering overlapping with heartbeat. That's when I realized, whatever that thing was, it remembered him. But it wasn't him. I moved out for a few days. Stayed with a friend. No shadows. No whispers. Nothing. Until the text started again. "Why did you leave me? Remember the box under your bed?" No one knew about that box, except Daniel. When I came home, the box was open. Inside was one of our childhood drawings, 2 stick figures holding hands. But now, there was a third one. A tall, dark silhouette behind us. Visual cue, the drawing pulses faintly under flickering light. My phone buzzed again. You forgot him. Then, a whisper right beside my ear, me. The shadow on the wall smiled wider. It began telling me things, my secrets, my guilt, my thoughts. It knew everything. That's when I understood, it wasn't haunting the house. It was haunting me. I kept every light on that night. Still, they began to flicker one by one, until darkness swallowed the room. And my shadow didn't move. It stood perfectly still. Then, a whisper, you said you'd never leave me. A deep breath brushed against my neck. I turned slowly, no one there. But the shadow twitched on the wall, as if it was laughing. Then the power died. Pitch black. I'm part of you now. My reflection in the dark glass moved a moment after I did. And for the first time, my shadow waved back. When morning came, I saw words written in the bathroom mirror fog, "Let me out." I screamed. My phone buzzed again, a photo. It was me, standing in front of that mirror. But in the photo, two shadows stood behind me. The glass began to ripple. Hands pressed against it from the inside. Every mirror in the house echoed the same message, "Let me out." Then silence. Every surface cleared. Except one, a single dark handprint on my reflection's chest. Not on the mirror. On me. Desperate, I found old VHS tapes, home movies. I wanted to remember my brother as he was. But in every video, there was something else. A dark figure. Always near Daniel. Never moving. In one tape, he whispered to the camera, "It says it'll go away when it finds someone new." Then his voice, clearer, deeper, "I think it likes you better." The screen went black. And in that silence, I knew. It had always been with him. Now it was with me. I woke at 2:47 a.m. The world was silent. And there, standing at the foot of my bed, was me. Eyes hollow. Smile wrong. Moving when I didn't. "I'm what's left of him," it said. "And soon, I'll be you." The lights exploded. The shadow and I merged. I felt my lungs collapse under the weight of something ancient. I screamed his name, "Daniel." He screamed back through the thing's voice, "You left me here." Then, quiet. The shadow pressed its hand to the wall. Another hand pressed back, from the other side. It didn't want to haunt me. It wanted to be me. Morning came. Everything looked normal again. But something felt off. On my nightstand lay a note in Daniel's handwriting, "You said you'd never leave me. Now you never will." When I looked up, my shadow turned its head and smiled. For a second, I heard him whisper, "It's not me anymore." Then it peeled off the wall, taking shape, reaching forward. I held Daniel's pendant up, it burned in my hand. The shadow screamed, twisting into smoke, retreating into the corners. And then, peace. The room was warm again. My shadow followed me normally. But as I turned toward the mirror, I froze. In the reflection, there was another shadow. Standing perfectly still. Smiling. "You said forever." Sound cue, faint whisper fades into silence. Screen goes black.